Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're looking at the price action update for Bitcoin. What's happening right now? Are we getting a breakout? Are we about to move much higher again? As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit that subscribe button as well, smash the bell notification icon, and again, you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description of this video. Grab it below, completely free, and let's talk about Bitcoin. So we've been watching the charts here very closely for the past number of months, and if you've been following the channel or just following Bitcoin's price action in general, you know that we've been in a pretty significant downtrend since these middle of January highs. Zooming in closer on the chart here, we can see that over the past number of days, we've been moving and inching a little bit higher for the price of Bitcoin. We had lows pulling down to this $74,000, $75,000 area here with this strong level of support at 73.6. Again, are we fully out of the woods yet? We can't say for certain, but Bitcoin is currently threatening a breakout of this downtrend that we've been in essentially since these middle of January highs. Price is currently poking up above 84,600. We still have a number of hours before the close of this particular daily candle. But if we can close up in this area and continue moving a little bit higher, I think that could mean we're on the precipice of a stronger breakout across the board. And that next major level for Bitcoin to recover is going to be that 200-day simple moving average. Okay, this is not guaranteed. I am recording this video on Saturday, April 12th. So you can see that we have a number of hours left before this daily candle closes. But definitely looking a little bit more positive compared to where we were at this time about a week ago, down in these areas in the mid 70s. Again, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but what we're seeing at the moment with the market is many altcoins starting to shoot up a little bit higher as well. You've got Bitcoin up about 1.4% on the daily, whereas Ethereum is up about 4.6%. Solana is up over 6% on the daily here as well, moving higher, and Solana technically also breaking out of its downtrend. I'll do another video separately dedicated to Solana. And then you've got the likes of Sui moving almost 5% higher on the daily today. Sui did have a breakout technically of its downtrend back at the end of March here. We came down to retest the trend line, bounced off of it, and we are moving back to the upside again. Some other alts like Aero up over 10%. Render up 4%, Jupiter up 4%. So while Bitcoin is making this move higher, 1 to 2% on the daily here on a Saturday, again, we got to be careful of that because we need to see what happens when markets open on Monday. We can see that total crypto market cap is having a nice bounce here as well over the past few days in line with Bitcoin's price movement. We are up at about 2.65 trillion as we speak. Again, I'm not sure if we're technically breaking out of a downtrend here with total crypto market cap. I think we still have a little bit of work to do before you could say that we're fully breaking out of this particular downtrend. We're threatening it right now. We'd need to see this recovering and breaking a little bit higher, going on to retest the 200-day again, just like Bitcoin. However, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been watching this M2 Global Liquidity Index over the past number of weeks and months as well. This global index with a 105-day offset means that we could be seeing a little bit more chop here in the immediate term before we truly find a bottom and move higher to follow global M2. Again, there's a lot of debate as to which particular daily offset is most accurate on this particular chart. But interestingly, even in the past few days, we've seen global M2 shooting higher as well. So we had this, obviously, this big breakout throughout the course of Q1, small retracement here, and just another big move to the upside, which I think only bodes well for Bitcoin and risk-on assets in the medium term as we progress through Q2 of 2025. But with this 105-day offset, it may not be until the last week in April when we truly find a bottom here, if we're going to follow this, before we actually move to the upside. Again, if we can break out above this downtrend for Bitcoin, that might signal that we may be about to actually move a little bit higher here rather than pulling back down further. But if we change this offset to 70 days or 75 days, as many other people like to play around with here on the chart, you can see that that 75-day offset would actually show that if we're to follow more closely with global M2 on a 75-day offset, we could be actually in for having Bitcoin making that move a little bit higher. If I bring this up here, you can see that technically it's starting to follow that global M2 already. So again, we need to wait and see what happens. Statistically, I believe the 105-day offset is slightly more accurate, but if we break out of this downtrend, it could be a good signal that we're about to go higher, and we may already be starting to follow that global M2 index. Okay, that's what I'm seeing happening for Bitcoin across the board here at the moment. If we take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance, I'm going to remove the M2 Global Liquidity Index because many of the alts are starting to outperform Bitcoin over the past 24 hours. You are seeing Bitcoin dominance coming back down. It did get up to these highs of 63.71% here. And again, because alts are outperforming, we're seeing that pulling back ever so slightly on the daily. Are we at a peak for Bitcoin dominance? I really don't know. If you're not familiar with Bitcoin dominance, what this essentially means is that the market cap of Bitcoin currently makes up about 63.33% of total crypto market cap. As you can see, zooming out on the chart here, if we go to the weekly, we've been in a very strong uptrend for Bitcoin dominance for the past 2 to 3 years. And we're not yet getting any kind of huge breakdown in Bitcoin dominance to signify a true altcoin season happening. Again, if you look at this level I've gotten on the chart here, we have wicked up very, very close to this particular resistance level. The reason I've got that marked in on the chart here is because if we go all the way back here on the daily chart to Q1 of 2021, back here in February and March, we did have a little bit of resistance at this level. When we broke down below it here, we tried to retest it and get back up during that altcoin season. But zooming back over to today, you can see that we haven't quite reached up to that perfect level of resistance. We did technically wick up to it on the 3rd of February. We might need to go a little bit higher here before getting a breakdown. Other people arguing that we might have to go all the way to 71, 72% to this previous high for Bitcoin dominance when it got up here at the peak of the last cycle. Again, I don't know if it needs to go all the way to 70, 71%. We might go to 64, 65% before seeing a breakdown, but it's interesting to see how many alts are getting that little bump today and outperforming Bitcoin across the board. So that's what's happening here, guys. That's my quick update on Bitcoin. Again, if we can push a little bit higher here, if we can see today's daily candle closing nice and cleanly above this downtrend, it might signal that we're about to go a little bit higher. We could see some resistance closer to 87, 87.5 with the 200-day simple moving average. We need to wait and see if we can close above here and keep moving higher. But again, be careful. It is the weekend. We're seeing lots of speculation in the markets, and because investors do not have the ability to use equities to speculate on weekends, we might see some interesting developments over the next 24 to 48 hours. So make sure to proceed with caution. Again, if you're interested in earning money from decentralized finance, creating cash flow, providing liquidity, generating income in a passive fashion, head on over to the UIG. I'm helping out a whole bunch of people in the community here for generating yield using liquidity provision in DeFi. There's a link down in the description of this video. Go over, check out the UIG. Tons of content. There is a completely free course in the UIG if you want to learn more about DeFi and how you can generate yield and income from DeFi liquidity provision. And again, as always, today's video is sponsored by Femex, the most efficient trading and investment platform. Again, I'm leaving a link for Femex down in the description below this video. Come on over, check it out for yourself. Always do your own research, guys. Again, nothing in this video is financial advice. You need to make sure to do fundamental research as well as technical analysis when parting with your hard-earned money and putting it into these investment vehicles. That's it for today, guys. If you got any value out of today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up before you head out the door. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon. And again, there's a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description. Go ahead and grab it down below, and we'll catch you in the next one.